Welcome, have a nice day. Today is Monday, 10th of July 2023. This day is celebrated as National Kitten Day. Who doesn't love teeny adorable kittens? 10th of July is also celebrated as National Pina Colada Day. A frosty and a delightfully creamy concoction of pineapple rum and coconut cream. Sorry for alcoholic way. 10 July in Indian history is celebrated as the birth anniversary of the following personalities, including the most important one, the Gopinath Bordoloi. 10 July 1890 up to 5 August 1950, a famous freedom fighter of India and the first chief minister of Assam. Remember the name Gopinath Bordoloi. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper, the Hindu states that the objection is overruled. Forest bill goes to House unchanged. A view of Shola Forest in Sakleshpur. The Hindu newspaper also states that J&K Lieutenant Governor reviews Amarnath Yatra arrangement traffic restoration work after rains. Mr. Manoj Sinha said he also discussed efforts underway to restore traffic on the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway, which has been closed due to the landslides at several places due to the rains. The Hindu newspaper also states that hundreds gather to show support for Thailand's PETA ahead of vote for Prime Minister. Move Forward Party leader PETA Limjoro Nrent during a rally ahead of the vote for a new Prime Minister on July 13 in Bangkok, Thailand on July 9, 2023. The Hindu newspaper also stated that NATO unity will be tested at the upcoming summit. Ukraine's possible entry may be the biggest challenge. I don't think it is ready for the membership in NATO, President Joe Biden told CNN. In an interview arising on Sunday, he said joining NATO requires countries to meet all the qualifications, from democratization to a whole range of other issues. NATO is actually the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It is also called the North Atlantic Alliance. Is an intergovernmental military alliance between 31 members states, 29 European and 2 North American. Established in the aftermath of the World War II, the organization implemented the North Atlantic Treaty signed in Washington, D.C. on April 4, 1949. NATO is the collective security system. It is independent member states agreed to defend each other against attacks by the third parties during the Cold War. NATO operated as a check on the threat posed by the Soviet Union. The alliance remained in place after the dissolution of the Soviet Union and Warsaw Pact, and has been involved in the military operations in the Balkans, in the Middle East, South Asia, and Africa. The organization's motto is Animus is in Consolidano Liber. Is actually Latin mind unfettered in deliberation. Formation of NATO is on 4 April 1949. It is a military alliance. Remember, its headquarters is in Brussels and Belgium. Going towards the Indian Express newspaper states that Express impact of 15 antiquities are from New York's Met among 150 returning to India in 3 to 6 months. Government Union Culture Security Govind Mohan briefing reporters Sunday on the third G20 Culture Working Group meeting in Hampi, said this is the first of lot of antiquities that Met has willingly agreed to return India. 15 antiquities returned by the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York Museum are expected to arrive in India in the next 3-6 months. The god Reventa, 10th century bronze, late Chalukyan, Karnataka, and Kamadeva. The god Love, 8th century stone, early medieval Kashmir, or child saint Sambandar, late 11th century copper Chola period. Indian Express also states that Punjab Agricultural University develops new wheat variety to keep blood sugar obesity in check. The Ludhiana-based institution, which played a pivotal role during the Green Revolution to make India surplus in food grain by developing high-yielding strains, has bred a new wheat variety with a high amylose starch content, known to reduce risks of type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. From the quantity to quality and from the food security to nutritional security, this seems to be the new research focus of the Punjab Agriculture University. The taste, color, and texture of chapatis made from the PBW RS1 is the same as normal wheat varieties, says scientist at Punjab Agricultural University. Indian Express also states that this quote means the present system of government is destructive and despotic to Indians and unbridged and suicidal to Britain. On July 6, 1892, Dadabhai Naoroji was elected to the British House of Commons. We discuss an expert from his book Poverty and Unbridged Rule in India 1902. Quotes from historical figures are an integral part of UPSC CSE syllabus also. Dadabhai Naoroji 1825 to 1917, fondly remembered as the Grand Old Man of India, was the first Indian to become the member of the British Parliament elected to the House of the Commons on July 6, 1892. Dadabhai Naoroji was the first Indian to become a member of the British Parliament elected to the House of Commons on 6 July 1892, and a commemorative stamp was issued by the Indian government in 1993 to mark 100 years to this feast. Going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that 503 districts had limited access to digital learning during the COVID government report. New Delhi, at a time when the pandemic forced schools to shut and shift classes online, students in 503 districts in the country had very limited access to the digital learning, with 240 of them scoring less than 10%, according to the government report released on Sunday. 240 of the 503 districts with limited access to digital learning have scored less than 10% in the performance grading index. Hindustan Times also states that Biden arrives in the United Kingdom for a meeting with the King Charles, Sunak's head of NATO summit. President Joe Biden arrived in British Sunday, where he will meet King Charles III and Prime Minister Rishi Sunak before continuing Vilnius for NATO summit, then a final stop in a new NATO member, Finland. Chronicling the living history of Delhi, Mumbai. Abu Sufyan, who runs the Instagram page Purani Dilli Wale, which is dedicated to Delhi people, culture and heritage, at Haveli in Chandni Chowk in New Delhi on Friday. Malika Kheer is on a mission to document Mumbai's living heritage. Her Instagram page, titled Beyond Heritage, seeks to look at Mumbai beyond the usual notion of culture by not just appreciating the city's monuments, but also what she calls its everyday heritage: houses, cinema halls, offices, and markets, among others. Hindustan Times also states that Amarnath Yatra resumes on Pahalgam route after 3 days as the weather improves. The Amarnath Yatra resumed on Sunday afternoon from the Panchtarni and Shishang base camps after remaining suspended for 3 days due to the inclement weather in Jammu and Kashmir, authorities said. Pilgrims on their way to Holy Cave Shrine Amarnath in Jammu and Kashmir. Going towards the economy of the country, Union Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal to push trade deals in the United Kingdom. Piyush Goyal, Minister of the Commerce and Industry. Russia oil discount to India shrinks to $4 delivery charges remain opaque. Indian refiners who convert crude oil extracted from below ground into finished products such as petrol, diesel are now the biggest buyers of Russian oil. FPI continues to be bullish on Indian equities, invest rupees 22,000 crore in July. FPIs continue to take their liking for Indian equities with a net infusion of nearly 22,000 crore rupees in the first week of this month. Going towards the world news, including BBC, to investigate a presenter allegations swiftly, government says. Syria revokes BBC's media accreditation and accuses the British broadcaster of spreading fake news. NATO tries to remember what it means to fight a European war. National newspaper in Mexico says its reporter was killed in western state. The end of the magic of our world's 50-year grudge. Russian fighter jets harass American drones over the Syria, United States military says. Going towards the science and technology, scientists decode genome of Indian shrimp variety. ICAR-CIBA scientists have genetically decoded the Indian white P. indicus variety of shrimp to enable farming the shrimp for the export market. ICAR-CIBA is actually the Central Institute of Brackish Water Aquaculture. CIBA is one of the research institutes under the Indian Council of Agriculture Research, New Delhi, to serve as the nodal agency for the catering to the needs of the brackish water aquaculture research in India. The institute is headquartered at Santhom High Road, Raja Anamalipuram, Chennai, with a research center at Kakdevip in West Bengal and an experimental field station at Mutokado, 30 kilometers to the south of Chennai. The institute works under the Ministry of Agriculture in India and was established in 1987. Indian Space Research Organization to transfer SSLV to private sector. Picture dated February 10, 2023, when SSLV T2 took off precisely from the first launch pad at the Satish Dhawan Space Center, SHAR, Shri Harikota. The Indian Space Research Organization will soon transfer its small satellite launch vehicle to the private sector after the conducting 2 development flights of the rocket that seeks to provide on-demand services to put satellites weight up to 500 kg in low Earth orbit. The space agency has decided to opt for the abiding route to transfer the mini rocket to the industry, as senior officials said. We will be transferring the SSLV completely to the private sector, not just the manufacturing, but full transfer, the officials said. Torrential monsoon rains create havoc in Himachal Pradesh, Punjab rivers in spate. Explain the promise and challenges of the carbon circular economy. A pair of excavators dig up a coal at a mine in Poland in June 30, 2020. At last, there's a famous quotation said by Albert Einstein, whose birth anniversary is 14 March 1879 up to 18 April 1955, was a German-born theoretical physicist widely ranked among the greatest and most influential scientists of all the time. Best known for the developing of the theory of relativity, he also made the important contribution to quantum mechanics and was thus a central figure in the revolutionary reshaping of the scientific understanding of nature that modern physics accomplished in the first decades of the 20th century. His mass energy equivalence formula E is called mc², which arises from the relativity theory, has been called the world's most famous equation. His work is also known for its influence on the philosophy of science. He received the 1921 Nobel Prize for Physics for his services to the theoretical physics and especially for the discovery of the law of the photoelectric effect, a pivotal step in the development of the quantum theory. Einsteinium, one of the synthetic elements in the periodic table, was named in his honor. The famous scientist Albert Einstein says a famous quotation. He says, "I learned from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning." Okay, thank you.